Roger to 55, thank you very much. Working a string of Christmas lights in the front yard.
Okay, that'll work. A string of Christmas lights with an antenna. Okay.
Hey, welcome to the Ham Shack. NJ4Z here. And today we're going to talk about emergency antennas. Callum, M0MCX, the DX commander himself, put out a video earlier this morning. It's the 25th of November, 2022, and day after Thanksgiving here in the US. And he challenged people to come up with an emergency 20-meter vertical antenna. So an interesting concept, and the grand prize is a DX Commander Classic. Now, I own two of them, so I really don't need a third one, but thought intrigued me, and I, like most men of a certain age, will gather over a period of time bunches and bunches and bunches of junk. So, that being said, I have junk. So we're going to take a look at some of the stuff I found up just here in this shack to play around with and see if we can get some ideas about doing an antenna. We're going to take a look at some drawings, and we'll play around a little bit with Visio and just kind of spitball some ideas. Now, got a little bit of advantage because I've been improvising antennas for a little bit, but could be a fun build. Let's take a look at some of the junk I have up here, and then we'll talk about some of the other ideas I have. Okay, so going through just some stuff in the shack, I've got a pile of crap here, so we can take a look at it and see what we can make out of it. So there is a single RCA cable, which is interesting. Dual RCA cable. Another dual RCA cable. This is stuff I'm all willing to part with that won't hurt my feelings if it gets damaged or gone. Here's a scrap piece of speaker wire. Looks like about 18 gauge, maybe 16 gauge. It's got lots of wire to play with. Let's see, here's a modular telephone cord. It's flat cable, probably 4 conductor, so something else to play with. A couple Altoid boxes. Some microphone cable that's been laying around, or this may be thermostat cable, like 4 conductor stuff. Alright, there are bunches of dead. I have no idea what these things go to, so wall warts, they have wire on them, so might be able to use them, cut them, and use them for something. Here's a couple of your generic 2-pin to NEMA wall plugs for US outlets. That's good wire there. There's another RCA cable. We've got another wall wart. Another wall wart. Boy, tons of wall warts. Another RCA cable. Go figure. Let's see. Blunt NEMA 515 power cord. Could be useful. And then we've got a menagerie of parts and pieces. Now, in my work life, I deal with a lot of audio components and paging systems and all kinds of fun stuff. Security cameras. So, we had some equipment come back from a job we demoed, and I took a look and said, we got a bunch of equipment that's got a bunch of surface mount components and crap in it. So I started pulling it apart, and like, here's a really good RCA connector, panel mount. That could be useful. There's some terminal strips, panel mount. I've got another piece of angle iron, just scrap piece from some project. I've got some wire nuts, miscellaneous wire nuts, screws, switches, fuse holders, just all kinds of parts and pieces. So I also have an extension cord that's in the garage that my lovely bride managed to cut with the hedge trimmers. So that's a lot of wire there. That might be a good idea. And I've got a scrap piece of RG58, looks like. So what is this, RG58? No, this is 50 ohm, but ABR Industries, so it's probably their RG8X version after digging a little bit in the garage. Christmas lights came up, so maybe we'll do something with these. Could be interesting. We'll see. I know a lot of people have done Christmas light antennas too, but might be able to use this and this and put something together. We'll figure it out, but we'll see. Okay, so we decided to use the Christmas lights for the antenna, and I know people have done Christmas light antennas before. I think Josh Nash has done them. You know, a bunch of them. What is it? Ham Radio Crash Course, and a few other people have done them. I've never seen anybody do a vertical, so we're going to try and do that. So I took apart the Christmas lights, and I ended up with, I was surprised at how much cable there was. So there's one section here. This is 5.2 meters of lights. This is about 6 meters of extra cable, another 6 meters of extra cable, a third bunch of extra cable. It's about 6 meters thereabouts, give it, take. Here's another one that's pretty damn close to 6 meters. So we got 4 radials out of that. We had another set of 5.2 meters of lights and another 2 pieces. I think they're about 1 meter a piece. So there was, you know, 12 meters of lights and, you know, another, what, 24 meters of extra cordage here. So what is that, 36, about 36 meters of wire. So if we wanted to do a 40 meter vertical, I guess we could have, but wouldn't have had enough for the radials, but you know, it's going to work. So let me just give you kind of the idea, the concept, and we can go from there. So basically, as we all know, our vertical antenna, let's see, vertical antenna, you're going to have your radiating element, and then you're going to have some kind of feed line coming into that, center to feed line, and then of course you've got your braid on your coax. And so the center line connects here to the radiating element, and then you'll have your radials coming off. Taking a cue from Callum, you know how it works. And then that connects up to the braid. So, a couple different ways of doing this. Now, what I did for proof of concept is I took a BNC, the banana plug adapter, and if you unscrew this, you can just slide some wire through it, and made a use the red as the vertical and the black is the ground wire, and just went ahead and put it up in a tree. So just for proof of concept, and I think, yeah, this is the piece of radial of Christmas lights that I used for the antenna. If I can get it untangled here. Good Lord, I got 2 pieces here, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay, got it done. So basically took this in, shoved it through the hole in here. It's not going to go through here as easily as you think it would the first time. Threaded it through, wrapped it around, and just tightened it. Okay. What I did at the other end for support is I just took the cable, bent it over, and wrapped it with electrical tape. Okay. So we all know for a quarter wave vertical, vertical. You got to take the frequency, so we're making it for center of the band, so 14,175 megahertz. So the common formula is 300 divided by 14,175, or the frequency in megahertz, and that gives you your wavelength. Now, for me, I use 299.8 because it's a more accurate figure, and I find I have to do a little less work on that. So if we do 299.8 divided by 14.175, that gives us 21.15 meters. So 14,175. And of course, we're going to divide that by 4 to get our vertical, because we want a quarter wave. So 21.15 divided by 4, that gives us 5.2875. And we know we're going to have a velocity factor in there, so times 0.95 just for giggles, it comes out to 5.02. Now, I went ahead and cut this thing a little bit long, so I cut 5.2 meters. So I ended up with, basically 1.8 extra meters, 0.18 extra meters of wire. But we'll talk about it a little bit later. So the challenge was to build it out of scrap. Well, this set of Christmas lights, the old incandescent type, not LEDs, incandescent type, was scrap. I was going to donate them to a thrift store. I had a bunch of Christmas decorations I was sorting through, and I wasn't going to use these anymore. So that came out, and of course we've got enough wire for our radials, so we're going to use that. Okay, so we built the Christmas light antenna and we tested it out. It worked really well. So the SWR across the band was 2.4, 2.5 to 1. It was really wide banded, and I have a feeling it's because of the resistance in the individual light bulbs in the setup. It was 5.2 meters vertically of Christmas lights with a 2 centimeter fold over for a loop, and the total resistance of the system, impedance of the system, excuse me, was 93 ohms overall. So I thought that was pretty good. Interesting. You might be able to put a 2-to-1 Unen or Balun there and really kind of get I would say an Unen, and get a good match, maybe a little more efficient. And here's a video of the test of the antenna. It's a contact from me to a guy in Texas. I had a total of 5 contacts on the antenna, 2 in Arkansas, 1 in Texas, 1 in Arizona, and 1 in New York. So we got 1 on video, and it came out pretty well. For Zulu.
Kilo India 53J, is your 59? 73, where is that?
November Japan 4 Zulu.
Okay, there's a November Juliet.
November Juliet 4 Zulu, November Juliet 4 Zulu, 59 South Carolina.
November Juliet 4 Zulu, copy 59, and you're 55 with me, 55.
Roger to 55, thank you very much. Working a string of Christmas lights in the front yard.
Okay, that'll work. A string of Christmas lights with an antenna. Okay, we'll take it, 73.
73, thanks. I was pretty happy with it. So we'll see what Callum has to say. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, or drop me an email. If you find value in what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell for notifications, because I'm going to be doing a little more videos. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. NJ4Z from the Ham Shack, and I'm out. Merry Christmas.